Zaccharie Risacher, the 2024 first round overall pick by the Atlanta Hawks. Now, for those that don't know, the Atlanta Hawks before Zaccharie Risacher has not had a number one pick in 50 years, literally 50 years, 49 if we're being exact, but pretty much 50 years. Now, I'm just going to read to you guys all of the recent number one picks in the NBA draft for the last 5 years, including Cooper Flag. 2025, Cooper Flag. 2024, Zaccharie Risacher. 2023, Victor Wembanyama. 2022, Paolo Banchero. 2021, Cade Cunningham. 2020, Anthony Edwards. Now, how does that sound to you guys? That sounds like a tragedy. I'm not going to sugarcoat anything in this, man. Zaccharie Risacher is just looking like a role player right now. And I'm not going to lie. Last year's draft was very thin, but there were plenty of players to select from other than Zaccharie Risacher. Some in mind, Stephon Castle, Donovan Clingan. I mean, Alex Sarr didn't want to get drafted to Atlanta, but I mean, you literally can force a guy into a city. But it's just really kind of unfortunate of what we're seeing so far with Risacher. If you watch Zach play, you understand that he's a monster in transition. You understand that he's a spot-up shooter. But he's a spot-up shooter right now, shooting at 31% from the field. I know we're only a quarter of the way into the season, but it's really not looking good for him. I've been following Risacher since he came into the league. Like I said before, I live in Atlanta, so I really try to keep up with the Hawks and, of course, my favorite team, the Chicago Bulls. But when I was watching Risacher last year, in summer league, he had some flashes. In the season, he definitely had some flashes, but it was more of just running in transition and spotting up for threes. Even in his career high of 38 points, it was a lot of transition buckets and spot up threes, which there is nothing wrong with that. But when you draft the number one pick, we have to think about it. Number one picks are really supposed to turn into franchise-changing players, cornerstone players for teams. That doesn't look like what Zach Risacher is going to be. And it's really just crazy that the Hawks were 1 year late from getting a talent such as Victor Wembanyama. And, you know, they end up with a guy like Zaccharie Risacher. Now, is it over for his career? Obviously not, man. The kid's young. He's still learning. He just came to America like last year. The man doesn't even know how to properly speak full English yet. But just looking at his numbers right now, like they're not standing out by any means. This season, he's averaging 11 points, which is lower than last season, 2.8 rebounds, which is lower than last season, and he's shooting worse from the three-point line. He shot 35% last year. He's shooting 31% this year. That's not what you're looking for from a number one pick. Quinn Snyder isn't even playing the kid that much. When we go and look at his minutes played per game, he's literally playing 24 minutes a game. You got guys like Nickeil Alexander-Walker coming off the bench averaging 20 points a game. You're not going to have 30-minute nights when you have production like that coming off the bench. And I just really don't know how to feel about Zach Risacher right now. I don't know how to feel about his future in Atlanta. Because let me tell you guys something. If the Hawks get a top 3 pick next year and they could get their hands on either Darren Peterson, AJ DeBonsa, or Cam Boozer, Zaccharie Risacher is probably going to fall out the rotation. I just can't see him getting a lot of minutes if one of those young guys fall in Atlanta's hands. Zaccharie Risacher doesn't rebound the basketball well enough to be 6'8". He's not physical enough to create his own shots in the paint. He's not good enough at handling the ball to create offense and create shots for others. He excels when he plays off the ball, and Trae Young obviously makes him look better on the offensive side, one of the best guys in the league at creating open shots for teammates. But if you don't have your own bag and your own skill set, then where does that really leave you? I just want to take a look at this real quick because I seen this graphic on Twitter yesterday, and when I looked at it, I said, you know what? I can't do anything but shake my head. Cam Spencer was drafted number 53 in the draft last year, the second round. I believe he went 3 picks before Bronny James. Look at his numbers. Cam Spencer is averaging 12 points a game, 2 rebounds, 4 assists, 51% from the field, and 50% from the three. He is the second leader in the NBA right now in three-point percentage. And to be fair, Tari Eason, he's played a couple games, hasn't played as many as Cam Spencer. So realistically, I view Cam Spencer as the number 1 three-point shooter in the league right now. Risacher is playing basically the same role as Cam Spencer, but was drafted 52 picks ahead of him. You look at guys like Stephon Castle, and we're going to him right now. Stephon Castle in year 2 and this is the reigning Rookie of the Year. Zaccharie Risacher was the runner-up to Rookie of the Year to Stephon Castle, but Stephon Castle in year 2, 18 points a game, 5 rebounds, 7 assists pretty much, 52% from the field, 28% from 3. Like I said in my last video, he's going to get better, but his production in the league cannot be ignored. And the Hawks are stuck with a player who struggles with a lot of things on offense. And the best thing that they were talking about in the draft for Risacher was his ability to shoot from the 3 at his size, and he's shooting 31% from the field right now. So where does that leave Risacher when it comes to ranking him with these other rookies that he got drafted above? Alex Sarr is having a pretty good sophomore season in Washington right now, even though they suck. But where does that leave Zach? Zaccharie Risacher really isn't giving you much. His numbers reflect a role player in the league. It does not reflect a starter in the league in the NBA. And really, when you're shooting 31% from the 3-point range in his role is a spot-up shooter. But when you can't make shots, you're not an elite defender, you're not an elite playmaker, you're not an elite finisher. Where does that lead the Hawks to view him as a player on this team, especially when the Pelicans are losing pretty much every game? They have went on a 3-game win streak, though, so shout out to the Pelicans. But they're not going to finish anywhere but the bottom of the West. So what does that leave to the Hawks management when it comes to viewing Risacher, especially when they could potentially get a top 3 pick next year? I don't know. It's just being the curse of a number 1 pick, because all of the number 1 picks so far in the 2020s have been straight hits. There have been no misses. This is looking like it's going to be the first miss as a number 1 pick in the 2020s. And obviously next year, I don't believe that there's going to be a miss in the number 1 pick, because the young guys coming out of that draft are very, very elite. So I don't know what to believe when it comes to Zaccharie Risacher. I wish the kid well. I hope that he can play well in the second half of the season. He turned it up a little bit last year in the second half of the season. And I really hope that his development can go well, but I just don't know if he's going to be a big focus for the Hawks, especially with guys like Nikhil hooping the way he is, Jalen Johnson turning into a star right before our eyes, the situation with Trae Young, and then a potential number 3 pick that they could possibly get next year. So I don't know about Risacher's future, and I'm kind of nervous for him, but I'm still going to have a little bit of faith in him. I hope that everything works out for him. It's just unfortunate that he's put into this spotlight because he was the number 1 pick. I promise you, if Zaccharie Risacher was the number 6 pick in the draft, the number 12th pick, the number 14th pick, nobody would be talking about him the way that they're talking about him now. But because he was the number 1 pick in the NBA draft, which is a huge honor, the spotlight is going to be on you when you're a number 1 pick in the league. It just is what it is. And he hasn't lived up to those expectations so far. So wishing Zach the best. Hope he can develop into the player that the scouts thought he was, and that some people thought that he was going to be, but I don't know, man. I'm not seeing it right now. So it's your boy 100 Points, man. I appreciate you guys for watching this video. I'm out.